What's going on, everybody? My name is Blake. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time coming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video. I have been doing a bunch of reactions to rugby over the past months. I actually took a little bit of a break over the last couple months, but figured I would check out some Premier League. So I am very unfamiliar with the Premier League. I know the rules. I'm going to call it soccer because that's just what we call it here in the U.S., but I'm not that familiar with a lot of things to do with soccer. I understand some of the rules and stuff. Like, I know what offsides is. I know how penalty kicks work for the most part, I guess. But here and there, I mean, there's definitely gaps in my knowledge and gaps in my knowledge of teams. And I think that you guys have like a tier system of leagues, and like the best team moves up from the lower leagues and the upper league. I don't know, something like that. But anyway, so I found the Clueless Americans Guide to the Premier League for the 2021-2022 season. Don't know if that season's still going on. I mean, we're in May of 22, so I don't even know if it's still going on. But I figured I would at least react to it, and yeah. So let's go ahead and check it out.
Oh, hello there, fellow Americans. I see you might have heard of this Premier League from across the old pond. And I know,
Ted Lasso.
as Americans, we are conditioned to naturally...
I still need to watch Ted Lasso.
I get it. They're kind of weird. But let me ask you this. How many of you motherfuckers grew up loving Harry Potter? Mm-hmm. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. I mean, the proof is in the numbers. There are more Harry Potter worlds in America than there are in goddamn England. You know how many Harry Potter worlds are in England? 0.
I have been.
How many in America?
And they are fun.
Dos. Both conveniently located on opposite ends of the country. And you know what? They're awesome. I can't even lie. Have you tried their frozen
butterbeer? Is so good.
Delicious. And the bottled ones that you can bring home, they're shit. Don't waste your money on that.
Oh, really?
Don't get those. Sorry, tangent. Okay, but I say all this because I know for a fact that y'all grew up fantasizing about which Hogwarts house you would be sorted into. Maybe some of you embarrassingly play Quidditch in real life.
People actually play Quidditch, bro.
Like you didn't have the biggest crush on Emma Watson growing up. So obviously, you like a British export or two. And you know what other British export you might enjoy?
Just a whole thirst montage.
League outside of America. But I mean, you know, what are we competing against?
It's pretty bold.
Chinese basketball, the Spanish League, or La Liga as they call it. Okay, I'll admit that La Liga was fucking lit when it was Ronaldo and Messi dueling every season. But that era is over, and Messi's team is a cesspool now, so nope. I'm out. Shark Tank. And yeah, the Italian and German leagues are pretty dope too, but you and me, we're American. Let's be honest with ourselves. We probably only speak English.
Yep.
And don't kid yourself that it'll help you learn Italian. No, shut the f*** up. We are Americans. We love convenience above everything. So much so that we sent Jeff Bezos into space and we couldn't afford to leave him there. And the Premiership is just the most convenient choice. We only speak English, so sadly, that narrows it down to literally the English.
Yep.
But have no fear because the Premiership is pretty dope. It's easily the most accessible league outside of America. Mostly all the coaches, all the athletes speak English, all the pundits and the analysis is in English. It is their version of the NFL, if you will, the most popular, the most bombastic, entertaining sports league in their country. And I know how much you love the NFL season. You know what's better than one NFL season? How about 2? And at this sport, you don't have to feel guilty about them getting CTE, for the most part. I know. It's like concussions don't exist in Europe. Good thing they don't have to use your head.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. And just think about it, man. Another roll of the cosmic dice. And if you were born over there, you would absolutely love Manchester United the same way you love the Dallas Cowboys.
I hate the Cowboys.
And if you grew up hating the Dallas Cowboys, you would have grown up hating Manchester United.
Okay, good.
Same, but different.
Same.
It's all the elements you know and love, now with new international flavor. The characters, storylines, dramas, stakes, history. It's all here, baby. And honestly, I think the reason why this hasn't caught on earlier here in America is simply before the internet, we had no way of watching this shit live. But now you can pretty much follow any team in the world completely off of Instagram or TikTok. Plus, out of the major sports leagues outside of America, I would say that the Premiership is the most competitive, it's the most physical, and in my humble opinion, the most entertaining league. And it uses this clever little hack that Americans might be familiar with that somehow make a long 38-game season compelling from start to finish. For the most part. But let's say you've never gotten into soccer, or football as they call it over there. I know, idiots. As an American, who the hell do you even root for? If you don't even have a connection to the country, where do you even begin in picking a team? Should I just go for one of the big boys and be a glory hunter, or do I go the hipster route and one of the up-and-coming team?
Yeah, we gotta go with the up-and-comer.
My muggle friend, because I was where you were about 15 years ago. And over that time, I have grown to love the Premiership even more than I love baseball. which is not really saying much. But through my years of growing to love this league, let me go ahead and be your guide, your sorting hat, if you will. I'm going to give you the lowdown on all the houses and see which one has the traits that you might like. And hopefully by the end of this video, I will help you have a new sports team and a brand new sports league that will be giving you entertainment for the rest of your lifetime. Welcome to a Clueless American's Guide to the Premier League.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here for a second because I already love this video. This guy's really funny, and he has he made a really good connection between like Harry Potter and the Premier League. The only international sport that I follow is F1. I'm a big F1 fan. I got into it about 2019, so 3 years ago. And yes, I did come from Drive to Survive, but I was in the early days, so don't gatekeep you European F1 fans. But this is I'm actually kind of excited to learn a little bit more now. So I definitely don't want to root for like a team that's like the New England Patriots here for NFL, like the teams that have just been winning the championship every year for the last like 20 years. Like I like more of the underdog with potential, like a team that can win but doesn't always win. So that's what I'm gonna be looking for here.
So as an American, this is very exciting because this is probably your first chance you ever had to pick a sports team from scratch. But there's so many choices. Where the F do I start? Well, first, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Pick a big team, okay? Don't be prideful. Just think about it, okay? Why would you put yourself through more torture than the teams that you already follow? Your team always lets you down. It always breaks your heart. Dear God, especially if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, if you're a New York Jets fan, why do you even have
Which I'm not.
Do yourself a favor. Just root for Manchester City. You've been through enough, bro. You deserve this. Bro. Unless you live in Boston or the Bay Area, someplace that shit championships out their asshole, then do not feel guilty at all about picking a top 6 team to follow. Nobody's going to label you a bandwagon fan in America. But I also know that some of you guys are masochists, and you don't want to be a normie and follow these top 6 teams, so I will sprinkle in some sleepers at the end. But as your resident sorting hat for this video, I'm just going to say it right now. The easy choice for the majority of Americans is to root for Chelsea. There's just so many obvious reasons for Americans to root for Chelsea this year. One, they got Christian Pulisic, which is probably the biggest reason that any American will root for a team. And it also helps that they're pretty good. They just won the championship.
Is he an American?
It's the most prestigious soccer tournament in Europe. And the fucking cherry on top, they also have the most lovable man in all of sports. Of course, I'm talking about N'Golo Kante. If you want to see the backstory on that, check out this video.
That big old smile.
So pretty much Chelsea slam dunk pick for, I'd say, 80% of Americans. All right, video done, right? Well, not so quick, because, there are also a couple of negatives with the positives here. Their coach, while tactically brilliant, is hyper defensive and conservative. And the dude has this really weird, like, Snape-Harry Potter relationship with Christian Pulisic. Like, I don't know if he likes him or not, and half the time he doesn't even start. So I know that's going to frustrate a lot of American fans. And also, Chelsea's kind of known as, like, the rich assholes club.
Yeah,
Chelsea is located in one of the poshest parts of London, and it was spank-ass mediocre until a Russian oligarch who might have ties with the KGB bought up the club and used
that's a no for me, Chief.
For all the best players. Basically turned Chelsea into a super team overnight.
That's a no for me, Chief.
It does kind of sound cool. Like, it sounds like a posh Bond villain's team. Like, it's kind of badass.
I mean,
I am selling shit.
It does sound kind of badass, but it also I ain't about that. I don't know. I don't like the rich kid persona type of thing, like super overconfident and cocky, and I don't know about that. I'm not really into super teams either. That's why I don't follow the NBA, because I know that they're like all into like building super teams, and you get all the best players on one team, and then they all move and go to another team and win another championship. I don't know. I'm not all about that.
Chelsea too much. Okay, well, the reason why I'm upset about this is, full disclosure, I am a Manchester United fan. I'm obviously going to want you to root for my team, and if I could pitch Manchester United to all of y'all, it would be, don't do it. Do not, I repeat, do not do it. Do not become a Manchester United fan. I know you recognize the name, and yes, in the 90s and 2000s, they were incredible. The most successful club in English history. More league titles than anyone. The motherfuckers were House Gryffindor. And our fandom still thinks that we're Gryffindor. But honestly, We are Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff. Because the new ownership came in and just poisoned everything, man. It has been a turd sandwich for the past decade. But if I could counterpoint it, they also happen to have one of the most exciting young attacking cores in world football. And on top of that, they just got Jadon Sancho, yet another attacking prodigy who might be better than all of them. Think of the squad like the San Francisco 49ers. They both look good in red and white. They have a long history of championships, and they haven't won anything in a while. But they also got a hyper-talented young core of players that if it all comes together, it could turn into like this new golden era. But more likely it's going to turn to shit for whatever reason. And that is my honest pitch as a Man United fan for the past decade. Probably don't do it, but if you do, at least now, no one will call you a glory hunter. And that should tell you everything you need to know about Manchester United, goddammit.
So I'm still undecided at this point. I'd say Man United is over Chelsea, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what else.
Manchester United's biggest rivals, and maybe the best team in the league when healthy.
Liverpool,
of course, I'm talking about Liverpool. Biggest thing for Americans, this is the team that LeBron partially owns, so all the LeBron dick riders, you have found new dicks to sit on. Congratulations. And to the million more LeBron haters, you have now found the team that you will love to hate.
Not a big LeBron fan.
They are a fantastic choice. Like, I want to shit on, but I know what Americans like. They are wildly exciting, they're hardworking, they got swag for days, and their coach is as likable as he is ruthless. They also are owned by Americans. Oh, okay. On top of all that, they're pretty fucking good. They won the Champions League 2 seasons ago, and the season prior to this, they won the league, ending like this huge trophy drought for them. And they got the history, man. Liverpool were the team of the 80s. They were just absolutely dominating everything. But for the past like 30 years, they've kind of toiled in mediocrity. That is, until their coach came along, Mr. Jurgen Klopp. And this German wizard might as well goddamn been Dumbledore, because he worked magic. You know, Chelsea just came in with their KGB oligarch and just bought up all the best players. That's not what Liverpool did, man. Old Kloppy over here actually did his homework. He made excellent, frugal signings that blossomed into world-class talents.
Hell yeah, that's the way to do it.
Tactics and scouting instead of just overpaying millions for talent. They did it the right way. And because of that, honestly, they, at the moment, are House Gryffindor. So all you fucking normies, here's your club.
Yeah.
All aboard.
All right.
Fucking
Liverpool's at the top now.
But you gotta be so goddamn likable. But what about the defending champions, and undoubtedly the team of the past decade in the Premier League? Yeah, it's time to talk about Manchester City. They are the new money, but you've already heard the story. New billionaire owners come in, this time from Abu Dhabi, and yeah, they got oil money as well. And they pretty much did what Chelsea did a decade before. Now, before these new owners, Man City were pretty much an afterthought of a club, living perpetually in the shadow of the crosstown giants Manchester United. Even though they're both teams in the same town, they weren't even considered crosstown rivals. That is how far the gap was historically between the two clubs. But spending over $1 billion and bringing in superstars, 3D to position on your team, that can change things. And change things rapidly. And on top of that, they went and hired the guy who used to coach Messi. And what has all of this resulted in? Yep. More Premier League trophies than anyone else over the past 10 years. Think of them as the Golden State Warriors of soccer. And their fan bases are pretty much the same. They both didn't exist until 6 years ago. And even though I said all of this, yeah, they're the ultimate bandwagon team for you to hop on, I want to take this moment to say that, fucking just do it, bro. Live a little. Because here's the thing. As an American, nobody is going to give you shit for a team you choose. Because anytime I've ever come across another Premier League fan in America, we're just happy that another one of us exists.
Yeah, furthermore, that's how it is with F1 fans in America. Like, I feel like a lot of the F1 fans in America, we like F1. We're really interested in the sport itself, and we're not super diehard fans for any specific team or any specific driver. And so we're just happy to talk about the sport and not be very competitive about it. So I get the same kind of vibe from what he's talking about.
All the people from the UK that I've dealt with, when I tell them I'm a Man United fan, they don't really give me shit either. Nobody really cares. You don't have any hometown loyalties or family to link you to any of these clubs. So just follow who you want to follow. Do yourself a favor, Detroit Lions fan. I already know you like a team that plays in a light blue jersey, but wouldn't you like to watch a team in a light blue jersey that wins all the time? Like, haven't you been through enough? You deserve it, bro. Do it. No one's gonna give you shit. And if they do, fuck them. There are very few things in the world
I
that
feel
matter
so
less
bad
than
for
other
Lions
people's opinions,
fans, man.
especially when the sports teams you support. Now, I'm not saying go be a bandwagon fan, but you know, pick the horse with the better odds. All right, but you might be seeing a little bit of a trend here. Billionaire comes in and just buys the league. What's even intriguing about that? And yeah, that's the other thing that you gotta kind of get used to when it comes to world soccer, and that is there are no salary caps. Like, yeah, there's financial.
Wait, they don't have any salary caps?
That's just a fucking joke. It's more like financial slap on the wrist at best. So yeah, there isn't actually too much to stop all these billionaires coming in and just outspending.
Dang, that's interesting.
Sadly, that's usually how the Premier League is won. I'm gonna keep it real, except for maybe one of the greatest underdog stories in sports history. It's time to talk about Leicester. And yes, it's pronounced Leicester. I know, the British are stupid. They spelled it like Leicester, and then they think we're weird when we pronounce it that way. Who spells it like this and pronounce it like Leicester? Leicester is the name of my cousin from Alabama, right? That's a Leicester. This is a Leicester. But sports hipsters, kids who shopped at Hot Topic, this is your team, bro. This is your team. Leicester is the Premier League team that all the football connoisseurs follow, because they really are a miracle story of the football pyramid in England. Now, another major difference that Americans need to wrap their head around is that the Premier League actually has multiple divisions. And at the end of the season, the bottom 3 teams with the lowest amount of points get relegated, which means they get sent down in division, and then the top 3 teams from the lower division come up.
Okay.
And if I'm going to be honest, the teams that come
I thought
up,
it was just
they
one.
usually go right back down, because they're not very good. They're usually shit. Like, most of the teams that just make it into the Premier League, they're happy to be there for a season. And that's what a lot of people thought Leicester were. But cousin Leicester came all the way from the 3rd division of English football, made it into the Premier League, barely survived their first season there, and then the next season won the whole goddamn thing.
Wow.
For someone who's unfamiliar
That's pretty
with this,
cool.
the odds at the start of the season were 5,000 to 1.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, the Jets winning the Super Bowl next season would be less surprising. And this wasn't some typical oil baron coming in, buying up all the best players. No! They just happened to scout and moneyball their way into this weird, like, island of misfit toys, but it worked. They were magical, sensational.
I like the kits too. I like that royal blue.
Stuff of dreams. They slayed all the giants and they won the whole goddamn thing. And it wasn't even a fluke, because since then they've been competitive. They've been challenging for a top 4 spot ever since, even with a lot of the bigger teams coming in and kind of picking off their best players. And they really are almost impossible not to root for. For the Harry Potter fans, they are the Neville Longbottom of the Premiership. They started off all frumpy, everybody was making fun of them, but at the end of the day, they might be the real chosen one, bro, and Potterheads will get that. So while I started all this saying, like, hey, you should probably pick a big team, I wouldn't fault you for following one of these smaller squads. Because if we go down the list, Chelsea was a nothing team until Oil Barons came in, same thing with Man City, and then you got Leicester, who did it the right way.
Yeah, so I don't know, I'm thinking
Who knows?
Leicester
All right,
and Liverpool
moving on
at
to the
this
next
moment.
big team.
That's
Let's
who
talk
I'm
about
choosing
Tottenham
between.
Hotspur.
And Tottenham, I know, I've heard of Tottenham before.
Not Tottenham. The language is named after you, English. Use it correctly for once. I don't understand. As a fat American, why would you not emphasize the ham? I would like to go to Tottenham and order a Tottenham. It sounds delicious.
It does sound
delicious. But if I were to describe Spurs in the terms of Harry Potter characters, they are definitely Ron Weasley. Just always a secondary character and kind of insecure about it. But I actually really like Spurs. Their logo is a chicken, which is always dope, and they got my kimchi cousin Hugman's son, who's a lightning bolt out there on the wing. In fact, they might have a more talented roster top to bottom than even Manchester United, but for whatever reason, they're just cursed to never win it all. They are the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Many a time, and then blue balls. And Spurs fans who are watching this, I have some advice for you. You should learn from the Bills fans. For you guys who don't know, quick history lesson about the Bills.
Yep.
They went to 4 consecutive Super Bowls.
Lost them all.
Lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls. It was pretty much their entire identity. And now, nobody freaking talks about it because all Bills fans do is put themselves through tables. It's genius, actually.
They have the best, I swear they have the best fan base. Like, I'm a Giants fan, and we've been struggling as of the last 10 years, but the Bills have the best, they call them the Bills Mafia. They jump through tables and shit, and, like, just are crazy. Like you'll see even, like, Bills fans, or they just have a baby, they'll have like a mini table, like a mini plastic fold out table, and they'll like not throw their baby, but like drop their baby like really slow and nice so the baby can break his first table at a Bills game. Like, it's just so stupid, but it's so awesome.
Is Tottenham fans, put yourself through some tables and eat some fucking ham. But now let's talk about Tottenham's arch rival, and that is Arsenal. Now, Arsenal, if they were a Harry Potter character, they would be Voldemort. But not like badass Final Form Voldemort. No. I mean, like, remember when, like, Voldemort was on the back of the head of that, like, weird turban dude? Like, he used to be this invincible offensive juggernaut, but now he's just, like, this mangled husk of what he used to be. That's Arsenal. That's Arsenal now. Like, back in the day, in the 90s, they were literally invincible. They had a perfect unbeaten season. They got a lot of draws in there, but invincible is invincible. And they played this wildly attractive offensive football. I mean, literally, their badge is a cannon, and they are named Arsenal. So I know a lot of you gun-nut Americans, this is pretty much your team. But fair warning, ever since the 90s, it's just kind of been downhill, bro. It's just kind of been downhill and limbo at best. Ugly. But I would argue that being an Arsenal fan is different from almost any other fandom in the Premier League. And that is because it is often more entertaining when Arsenal loses than when they win. And the simple reason for that is because they have, by far, the most entertaining fan channel on YouTube. Let me present to you Arsenal Fan TV.
Do you know the best thing about today is the fact that I couldn't see any of it because I'm blind, so it's brilliant, you know what I mean?
Who am I? Third game of the season, we've conceded 8 goals. Medea, yeah? I'm breathing. Like a fucking ticket.
Bro.
So while it might be a shit show all season long, win, lose, draw, you will definitely be entertained as an Arsenal fan. And that is kind of it for like the big, I guess, 6-ish, 7-ish teams. But I guess I should go over a couple of sleepers real quick.
Yeah, let's hear the sleepers.
Everton, they're also known as the Toffees. They're a proud, historic club that are Liverpool's crosstown rivals, actually. But they kind of always finish mid-table and never really challenge for anything. So basically, they're like the Weasley brother, but the one that dies. Burnley. Just think if Hagrid were a team. That's Burnley. West Ham. Notoriously violent fan base. And they also blow bubbles and sing about blowing bubbles before every home match.
They're violent, but they blow bubbles.
Newcastle. You remember that one movie, Goal the Dream? Yeah, that's pretty much them. And by that, I mean literally they are about to sign a young Mexican named Santiago Munoz. It's actually insane. So if you haven't seen the movie, go ahead, watch Goal the Dream Begins. Don't watch Goal 2. And it'll probably play out exactly the same. And there are some other interesting teams like Wolves and Crystal Palace are fun to watch. But honestly, all the other teams are muggles, bro. You as American, you want winners. You want a team that wants to win. And yes, Leicester proved that sometimes rooting for the small team can get you that absolute glory. But are you really going to waste your first opportunity to pick the sports team you follow on a 1 in 5,000 chance that this scrub team just turns into a miracle? Like, if that's what you want, I mean, do you, boo. But if you decide to follow Brentford and they get their ass relegated, good luck finding second division football on American television. So in my humble opinion, go top 6. And even beyond that, probably don't go Spurs, Arsenal, or even Manchester United. Alright, so hopefully I have sorted you into your proper Hogwarts house. But I get it, there's still some issues here. You're still probably clueless. Like, you know, kick ball into back of net.
Bro, is he gonna run out of breath?
But much like any sport, it's the nuances, it's the accoutrement that's the good stuff. That's where the real flavor is. So how do you learn all that? How do you learn the rules? And what the fuck is a table? And to that, and I'm not kidding here when I say this, I think you should play FIFA. Not Ultimate Team. Not Ultimate Team. F***ing hell. Do not play Ultimate Team. That is mental heroin. It will take all of your money and ruin your life. But career mode in FIFA 21, this year's iteration, is excellent.
I have played some FIFA before. Back in college, we played
right around
in
the corner at the end of September, which means FIFA 21 is probably going to be free on some subscription service you got, or it's going to be in the bargain bin. And you know how sports games are. Just pick up FIFA 21, update the roster, and it'll probably be as good as FIFA 22, if not better. And from there, you can try playing with a couple of the big teams. See if there are any players that call to you, resonate with you. And if you've ever enjoyed the franchise modes in like Madden or 2K, you'll be right at home here. I used to be a die-hard Madden franchise guy until I found FIFA career mode. And honestly, that's kind of what got me into the sport. Like, the career mode was just better than Madden. And honestly, playing through a season will teach you almost everything you need to know. From transfers to formations to who the fuck is this Mbappe guy? Why is he so OP? What the fuck?
I have heard of Mbappe.
Do not feel obligated to play every game. Just sim a shit ton. That's what I do. And have no fear, if you sim it and you don't get the results that you want, you just reload the save and sim again, like the scumbag you are. Don't act like you don't do it. Shut up. You do it too. Don't look at me that way. But the main reason why I think you should play career mode is it'll give you the most intuitive understanding of the table, which is probably the biggest departure away from American sports. Now, Americans, you're going to want to hold on to your butts for this one. This is a tough pill to swallow, but the Premier League does not have a playoff system. I know! What the fuck, right?
They don't have a tournament at the end?
That's part of any sport. But they do have this intriguing trade-off here. Check this out. So they just play 38 games, and whoever has the most points at the end of 38 games wins the league. You get 3 points for a win, you get 1 point for a draw, and then you get 0 points for a loss.
Okay.
And what this creates is kind of like the same thing you get with a college football season, where every game in the regular season actually matters. Because the slip up of any of the big teams could spell disaster for their title hopes. And that's exactly what it is in the Premier League. A loss or even a draw from a big team is devastating because the other big teams rarely drop points. And even better than a college football season, there are multiple things to fight for, not just who wins the whole goddamn thing. So even if there is like a runaway winner, there's always like a race for the top 4 positions, which are the only positions that get to go into the Champions League. And for those who are disappointed that there are no playoffs, well, let's talk about the Champions League.
Yeah, what is this?
This is pretty much their version of the playoffs and kind of on steroids. Because the Champions League isn't just English teams. It's actually like the Wizard Tournament from Goblet of Fire. It takes all of the best teams from all the other European leagues and puts them into a tournament arc. So all the big name teams that you've heard of, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Juventuses, they're going to be in this tournament. And if you're lucky enough, your team might actually play them. And it runs simultaneously throughout their regular season. So you're going to be getting even more sports goodness throughout the year. And it's usually midweek. So on Thursday nights, when I got NFL football and Champions League, I feel spoiled for choice. If the Thursday games weren't always shit. Like, what the fuck, NFL? It's so bad. And what's dope about the Champions League is you can even pull a Chelsea. Chelsea has actually done this twice, where they actually sucked it up in the Premier League, but they got hot and won the whole goddamn Champions League. And that is what being a fan of the Premier League kind of gives you. Constant targets to aim for, even if your season isn't going as planned. And that's how soccer leagues make even a tie interesting. Because nearly every team is competing for something at every point in the season. Obviously, the big teams are trying to win the league, but then there's a bunch trying to qualify for the Champions League spots. And then on the flip side, you usually got, anywhere from 6 to 8 teams that are being threatened to be relegated. Oh, and also there's like this little brother version of the Champions League called Europa, but no one gives a shit about that. Think of it as like the Fantastic Beasts series. It's okay, but not quite as good as the real thing. But alright, now you understand the game, you picked your team, but how do you even watch your team live? Well, if you did decide on one of the big teams, you probably can watch them live on one of the NBC networks, but more conveniently, and this is what I do, you could just pay $5 a month and get Peacock. I know it's Peacock, but it's only $5. And what that allows you to do is stream every single Premier League game the entire season. And when you compare that to the NFL
bad.
Sunday Ticket, which is $300, yeah, $5 a month, a goddamn steal.
Yeah,
now,
that's pretty good.
Here's the little tough part, guys. If you're on the West Coast, it could be hard sometimes. Some of the games, if you want to watch them live, are going to be at, 4 a.m., 3 a.m., but, 80% of the games will be at a decent hour. And East Coast, it's almost never an issue. But if you don't feel like waking up at like 4 a.m. or if you're just a busy person and can't catch every game live, you know what to do. You can just get the highlights off of YouTube or Instagram. And also, this is yet another reason why you want to at least follow an entertaining or attacking team. Because let me tell you, waking up at 4 a.m. to watch your team draw 0-0, not it.
Yeah, that's
not it, bro. Not fun. And that's gonna be about it. I know this is like a lot of information to take in, so my best advice is really take it slow, play career mode, check out a couple of different teams, and you don't really got to worry about all the rules like handball and offsides and shit, because now with VAR, they pause the game and they explain everything with instant replay, just like in American sports. Good job, Britton. You finally caught up. But yeah, be interested in a Clueless.
I've actually seen, I've watched some reactions of that.
But yeah, that might be a video for another day. As you did enjoy this one, go ahead, smush your nipple into the like button. It really helps me out on this godforsaken
algorithm. I will do that.
Because YouTube has goddamn striked every single video that I put out. This video will probably be re-uploaded as well. But yeah, if you'd like to help me out, please go ahead and join.
Alright, well, that was really interesting, and that's a lot more complicated than I thought. I honestly, I really like the idea of that Champions League. I don't know. It makes it like a whole different level. It's something that I don't think any other sport has. That's super interesting to me. and I think I know what team I think I'm going to choose to root for, and I think that's Leicester, just because I like that story of them being the underdog and then coming in and winning it all, like, against the odds. And apparently they're still doing really well, and out of the top 4 he said to choose from, Leicester is one of them, so I'm going to go with Leicester. A couple of the other ones I don't know. I don't like just rooting for a team just because they're good or because they pay all this money to get good players and stuff. I want them to have some sort of character or like story behind them. So yeah, I think Leicester's the team to go for. I don't know if the season's even still going right now. I'll have to kind of look into that and see if I can catch some games. But yeah, I appreciate you guys if you have been watching to the end. I know it's a long video, but join the Discord in the description if you guys want to suggest some videos to me, whether that be going back to rugby or some soccer stuff or football, as you call it. So yeah, appreciate it again. You can comment on this video, leave suggestions here, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.